Welcome back to the channel where we mix things up, and today we're going to be reacting to JxmyHighrollers, the worst NBA predictions of all time. So yeah, it's going to be so fun. I'm expecting a lot of Stephanie Smiths, as you can see here, Colin Cowherd. Definitely everyone hates Skip Bayless, so it's definitely going to happen. And yeah, so it's going to be really fun. Shout out to you, Jimmy. I know you probably won't watch this, but yeah, so this is a fire video. 126 likes, and yeah, 1.6 thousand subscribers. This is just probably one of the best basketball videos on YouTube. So yeah, so now let's begin. Let's do this.
This is a story that I just don't buy. Durant to the Warriors. I think there's zero chance it happened.
Well, that happened.
You're not going to get a 45-point night from him. Those days are over. He's a human being.
So I ask you, is Clay a better
I guess. Well, okay. Of course, pass, but the thing is that they just had 5 players that could score, basically. Kevon Looney, Sean Livingston, Iguodala, they're not going to score.
Shooter than you were
they can, of
Yes.
your prime.
But you're asking Paul. I'm going to say no.
I don't know where Milwaukee goes from here.
Oh, yeah, Paul Pierce is crazy.
Whoa. So is this over?
No, listen, I think it's over.
This series is over.
Yeah, they
One
lost.
game?
You see Klay Thompson ankle will miss. That's one of our last games of watching it.
You just sat there and said that they could win an NBA championship.
Yeah, I did say that, but
I think there's 4 reasons why the Warriors won't win. Okay, draft over. Portland's taking Greg over.
Oh my goodness.
It's over.
This is
There's no other
embarrassing for
argument.
Colin.
Any talk show host, any emailer, any caller that goes on and says Durant should be number 1 isn't doing their homework or is just trying to incite calls and be controversial. Greg Oden is the number 1 pick. It's all over.
Okay. He deserved to be the first overall pick, but he just had injury.
Of
course, looking back, KD should have been.
Jordan. Of course he can. To me, the question is will and when.
Okay.
And the answer is in about 4 months when this Cavs team wins another title.
That's wrong. Okay, let's do this. Stop creating a clip from the draft. Doesn't have the upside of Ricky Rubio, Brandon Jennings, Johnny Flynn, Patty Mills, and Jeff Teague, all more athletic. So, athleticism doesn't mean everything. Some dramatic music here. Okay, let's do this. Okay.
What's up, everybody? It's Jimmy. And in the world of basketball analysts and basketball media as a whole, part of the job is making predictions. How good will a player be? How bad will a team be? What direction is the league heading in a few years? Just another way of breaking down the game and sharing a new or interesting take. But often, and sometimes far too often, some basketball journalists, analysts, and broadcasters make some predictions that are so out of
pocket,
so absurd,
Louis Skull over Kevin Durant,
that you wonder if they're just handed a hot take on a script, knowing damn well it's wrong, but they want to keep their job, so they go live on television saying some wild shit anyways. Now, of course, we're all guilty of making outlandish claims and bold predictions that never panned out.
Everyone has incorrect claims. No one's right.
Have our own bias that can stray us away from facts and reality from time to time. But today, we're gonna take a dive into some predictions made by men who do this for a living. Men on national television. Predictions that couldn't have been more wrong. Now, this whole video was sparked by a recent prediction made by a man that has basically gone off the rails in the past few months. A man that at one point in time was torching the NBA, but is now getting clowned on by
No in yellow. Oh, that's pain.
12-year-olds on Twitter. And that is none other than Paul, I was better than Dwayne Wade Pierce. First, I have the utmost respect for Pierce. Dude was a bad man for years in the NBA. He was loyal to the soil for 15 seasons and brought us some of the best memories of 2000s basketball. But, with that being said, this man done lost his damn mind post-retirement. After a string of dodgy statements that had the basketball community in uproar, Paul Pierce went out of his way to predict that the series between the Celtics and the Bucks was over after the Celtics won just the first game in the series.
I don't know where Milwaukee goes from here. Because
What are you-
Whoa. So is this over?
No, listen. I think it's over.
This series is over.
Yeah, they
One
lost.
game? You just sat there and said that they could win an NBA championship.
Yeah, I did say that, but
Now, I know that Pierce has a bias towards Boston.
He does.
That was his team.
Makes sense.
I know the Celtics won by 22 points. But this is the last thing Pierce needed on his plate at the moment. You got a team that finished with the best record in the NBA, with presumably this year's league MVP leading them, and after just one game, you claim the series is over. To make matters worse, because Paul Pierce loves to make matters worse, after having some time to go home and think about what he said, this man returned the next day and doubled down on his statement saying that the Bucks had no chance against the Celtics. Since making this prediction, the Celtics have lost 4 straight games against the Bucks, 3 of those losses coming by double digits. Giannis just keeps getting better and better, and the Celtics watch their star walk off the court in the final moments of Game 4. Now, Pierce, I love you, dog, but I'm gonna need you to hold this for me.
He will.
But at least Pierce played the game and can speak from experience. On the other end of the spectrum, you have a guy like Colin Cowherd, who is super entertaining to listen to, but only because his analogies are second to none.
Melo is that bad relationship partner. Leaves the toilet seat up, doesn't help with laundry, dishes always in the sink.
And because his predictions are just so off the wall. Like in 2007 when he had this to say about Greg Oden and Kevin Durant.
He is quicker than Durant in the lane agility drill and has better numbers in the running and standing vertical jumps. In the standing vertical jump, a 7-foot center. Okay, draft over. Portland's taking Greg Oden. It's over. There's no other argument. Any talk show host, any emailer, any caller that goes on and says Durant should be number 1 in doing their homework or is just trying to incite calls and be controversial.
13 years later, that's looking like the worst take of all time.
Greg Oden is the number 1 pick. It's all over. Couldn't bench a $185. Well, it doesn't matter. Yes, it does. It's a physical league. It's a long 8-month season.
That's true, but not
tell
true.
me I can draft just another wing guy, just another guy who, he's got Antonio McDyess written all over him. He'll be a good player, but he's just another wing guy. Danica Patrick can bench press a $185.
Now, I will say, hindsight is always 20/20. And at the time, Greg Oden was seen by a lot of experts to be the number 1 pick in the draft. But how are you going to call a 6'10", lengthy, shot-creating wing that averaged 26, 11, 2, and 2 a game as a freshman in college just another wing? Durant had superstar written all over him from day 1. In fact,
Sonic's got a steal.
years later, Durant had some choice words for Cowherd and his harsh prediction. I knew nobody in the draft could guard me. I knew that. And I knew that you didn't have to bench press to lift a basketball up. I was ranked the last person in the camp drill-wise. I was the worst player. That tells you a lot about this.
Yeah, so it's very interesting because you of course can't be really skinny, but I think this is like an outlier.
Significance of that stuff. But this wasn't the last time that Cowherd made a bold and strikingly inaccurate prediction about KD. In 2016, Cowherd said that there was a
No one predicted this though.
0% chance
But he said
of Durant
0,
going
so
to
that
the
makes
Warriors, and on the off
doesn't
chance
help.
that he did go, it would be a bad move.
This is a story that I just don't buy. Durant to the Warriors. I think there's 0 chance it happens. And I don't think it's a good move. I think there's 0 chance it happens.
Just 6 days later, Kevin Durant joined the Warriors. But the madness doesn't end there. Just a few months after his initial prediction, Cowherd went on to say that this new Warriors squad had no chance of winning a championship.
Okay, so I just took a quick break, so we're back.
The Warriors won't win. Number 1 is chemistry. Number 2, where's the beef? Number 3, LeBron's a nightmare matchup.
You're saying Katie Curry, Clay Draymond can't beat LeBron James.
Especially because
LeBron James is
they
good.
have no rim
Not that
protection.
good.
And the 4th reason, all the pressure in the world is on Golden State. There has never been an NBA lineup this overwhelmingly favored that doesn't in its current form, have a championship.
But, of course, the Warriors went on to win back-to-back championships over the next 18 months. And although Cowherd does have some takes that make you want to call your internet provider and shut off your service just to avoid hearing him ramble for even another second, at least he's entertaining. He's creative. Someone who is neither of these things and has even more atrocious takes and predictions is Skip Bayless. The man that has made a career off of hating on other men. And just like Cowherd, Skip has made some bold predictions over his career. Like, oh my God. When he claimed that a 52-year-old Michael Jordan could beat a prime LeBron James one-on-one.
Can he right now, at 52 years old,
Right here, right now.
beat LeBron one-on-one? I mean, and be on, come on.
You know, Stephen A.
Oh
Smith.
gosh, don't don't do this.
You know?
Don't do this.
He just might.
Come on, come
He just
on.
might be able to.
Yup, this man, unapologetically, actually said this nonsense on live television. Not necessarily a prediction, but he was asked a hypothetical question, to which he gave a piss-poor hypothetical prediction. Also, by the way, wait, what is this? What is this?
What? Oh, 34% of fans think that?
34% of NBA fans polled believe that Michael Jordan could beat LeBron James in one-on-one in 2015? Really?
Come on, this was prime LeBron.
Boy, if you don't get...
Another failed Skip Bayless attempt at foreshadowing the foreseeable future was back in 2012 when he said that Kobe Bryant was overpaid and that Tim Tebow was a bigger draw in the world of sports.
I don't know who he is.
I'm standing up to talk about Hollywood. Tell me,
Tim Tebow's Hollywood.
That Tim Tebow
Tebow's a bigger draw than Kobe Bryant is right now. He's a bigger draw than Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Come on,
Since that
dude.
statement, Kobe Bryant went on to average 28 points that season, received 5 more All-Star selections, and was selected first-team All-NBA 2 more times. Tim Tebow took his last NFL snap that season. But when it comes to overstatements, hyperboles, and astonishingly inaccurate predictions, nothing tops the classic duo of Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. I mean, really, was there anything better than watching these two men holler
Okay, it says here, Skip Durant's problem is Russell Westbrook.
at each other for hours on end, getting
he had maybe,
absolutely
like, a
nowhere,
better,
saying
less
anything
dominant
and
point guard?
everything that pops into their heads while simultaneously not saying anything at all.
You must be crazy.
I'm not. Watch what happens.
You're going to be disrespectful.
Watch what happens to Rudy and Zach Randolph. Watch what happens.
You're going to be disrespectful.
Those were the good times. Loud, obnoxious, but good times. Like in 2011 when Skip and Stephen A. made a list of the top 5 players in the NBA, and neither of their lists included LeBron James. Now, let me be a bit more clear. In 2011, the prime of LeBron's career, Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith each made a list of the top 5 current NBA players, and neither of them had LeBron on their list.
Carmelo and
KD? 4th year KD over prime LeBron?
he is not the 12th ranked player in the world. He does have the clutch gene.
Dwayne Wade and Dirk Nowitzki at number 4. Dwayne Wade at number 1, Dirk Nowitzki at number 4. You and I agree, all right?
After these top 5 lists were released, LeBron went on to win regular season MVP.
I miss when they did those trophies.
An NBA title and Finals MVP the very next season.
I haven't seen that many people
also went on to win another regular season MVP, an NBA title, and another Finals MVP in the following season. Speaking of LeBron, not everyone thought highly of him early on. In fact, there's this old clip floating around YouTube of a sad and desperate Cleveland Cavaliers team being interviewed by a local news station, and in these brief interviews, players on the Cavs were asked what they thought about a high school LeBron James. Some of them had encouraging words for the kid, others not so much.
I don't think you can really just bring a high school player in and really just think your team gonna really turn around like that. If he come, you know what I'm saying, he can just hop on our bandwagon and hopefully we can do something big.
We have better players than him in his position already on our team, though. His potential is probably
The sky's the limit for him, though.
Darius Miles, a young talent but also a player that never even averaged double-digit scoring, and Carlos Boozer, the 4th best player on a 17-win team, basically wrote off LeBron before he even got to the league. Fortunately, LeBron was everything he was hyped up to be. Won Rookie of the Year the very next season and was by far the best player on this same Cavaliers team just 1 year after these interviews. Unfortunately for Miles and Boozer, LeBron was everything he was hyped up to be. Darius Miles was traded just 37 games into LeBron's rookie season. Carlos Boozer was traded the following season. The Cavs,
but he would have been actually a pretty good fit if he could run the 4, because he was an all-star.
Became LeBron's team, and the rest is history. And to be fair, their predictions on LeBron weren't too far-fetched. Remember, just 1 season prior to LeBron's intro to the NBA, DeJuan Wagner was another high school hooper who was gassed up and drafted by Cleveland, but didn't quite have the impact people were expecting.
Yeah.
But these
high schoolers are really risky, but of course now they're not, but there's still so many good players.
Predictions were made late into LeBron's high school career, and if you didn't know by then that he was going to be a superstar, you deserve to get old news clips of you dug up and examined. 2 guys throwing shade at a high school kid saying that he wouldn't have a huge impact on their team were both within a year not even on that team anymore due to that high school kid's impact.
Life is crazy.
And those predictions were about as bad as another prediction that was made years later. Dan Gilbert, owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers, made an awfully bold prediction, or should I say promise, to fans of the team and against LeBron James as well. In 2010, Dan Gilbert released a letter to the public in regards to LeBron's departure from the organization, saying that the self-declared former king will be taking the curse with him down to South Beach. And until he does right by Cleveland and Ohio, James will unfortunately own this dreaded spell and bad karma.
We know what
He then goes on to say that he promises a long overdue championship. But as we all know, Dan Gilbert was as wrong as he could possibly have been. Since LeBron went to Miami, won 2 rings, came back to Cleveland, and won a ring there as well. Not only was Dan wrong about LeBron finding success with the Heat, he then had to swallow his pride and watch the man win his organization a championship. Pathetic. Now, although being a former player in the league does give some analysts first-hand experience to speak from, this doesn't always result in the most educated guesses, as we recently learned. Like in 2015, when Charles Barkley predicted that the Grizzlies, the Blazers, and the Mavericks would end the season as the best teams in the West, although it was the Warriors who had by far the best record in the league and were en route to a 67-win season. He then went on to say that jump shooting teams could not win championships, and the recipe the Warriors had created was not one for success.
You're passing towards the best team. Yeah, the best team in the West, the same way you did it in the East. I think that I will pick 3 teams. That's not exactly the question. Because it's a fluid situation. I think Memphis getting Jeff Green, the Portland Trail Blazers, and the Dallas Mavericks. I think those are the 3 best teams in the Western Conference. One more time. No Warriors. Memphis Grizzlies. No Warriors. No Warriors. No Warriors. No Spurs.
Wait, how can you dismiss a team that has the best record and is number 1?
He just didn't embrace
number
that
1 in field goal percentage against.
I have said the exact same thing for 16 years here. I don't like jump shooting teams. I don't think you can win the championship beating good teams shoot jumpers.
Since these bold predictions, the Warriors went on to win 3 titles in 4 seasons and have been the most winningest team in NBA history. But at least Charles played in the league, was a beast, and earned the respect of those tuning in, even if he can be a bit off at times. You have earned the right to be off on your predictions when you have played 16 seasons in the NBA,
really high on the
11 All-Star appearances, and 1 league MVP. Something that this man has never done. Which is fine. Not all of us can be freak athletes at the pinnacle of the world of sports, but we all have sports opinions and predictions we'd like to share with those willing to listen. But in December of 2016, Nick made this bold prediction.
Can LeBron ever pass Jordan? Of course he can. To me, the question is will and when.
Okay.
And the answer is in about 4 months when this Cavs team wins another title.
Okay.
Yeah.
5. Kevin Durant way outside.
Yeah.
Delivers. Kevin Durant from downtown. It's a 6-point game.
And what would a bad prediction video be without a few terrible draft scouting reports? Like in 2009 when this man said that Stephen Curry didn't have the upside of Ricky Rubio. Or when Jonathan Giovanni of Draft Express said that Russell Westbrook wasn't worthy of a starting position in the NBA.
Okay, Russ is just such an interesting player when he came in.
And gave the Seattle Supersonics a C grade for drafting Westbrook with the 4th pick and Serge Ibaka with the 24th pick. Predicting the success and growth of a player before he even enters the NBA is not easy. But this prediction wasn't even in the right zip code. Another scouting report that was just as piss poor was by Paul Banks of the Washington Post in 2009 when he said that Johnny Flynn was the safest top prospect of all guards in his draft class. Johnny Flynn. Johnny Flynn. This is the same draft class that featured guards like Patrick Beverley, Drew Holiday, Jeff Teague, DeMar DeRozan, and James Harden and Stephen Curry. But no, according to Paul Banks, it was Johnny Flynn who was the most impressive guard in the draft. But no matter how many bad predictions we must suffer through, no matter how much an analyst misses their mark, nothing tops the streak of wrong predictions Stephen A. Smith had when he incorrectly guessed the winner of the NBA championship for 6 straight seasons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This man had a 50-50 chance of predicting the correct outcome of 6 straight finals, most of which had a clear favorite, and time again guessed incorrectly.
I gotta give Miami the edge, and probably
that makes sense.
The Dallas Mavericks are NBA.
Okay, what's wrong?
Can the Thunder win a title with Westbrook as point guard? The American people have spoken, and Stephen A. wins.
The Miami Heat are once again NBA champions.
I think Tim Duncan, Greg Popovich, and the San Antonio Spurs pull it off. I'm picking the San Antonio Spurs to win this series.
These were close.
It's back-to-back titles for the Heat. The 2013 NBA championship resides once again in Miami.
Blame you. I'd probably bet my money on the Spurs, but I use the word probably because, Skip, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
That's just sad.
When you go up against a great team, it takes a superstar to close the deal, baby. And it is time. It is apropos. It is perfect timing for LeBron James, King James, to show that he's got some Jordan-esque skills.
And Antonio is back on top once again. The Spurs are the 2014 NBA champions.
I'm going with the Cavs.
What? The Golden State
What?
Warriors are the 2015 NBA
Okay, he didn't know Kyrie would get injured, so I'll give him that a little bit.
I'm picking the Golden State Warriors
to
win these finals.
They won 7
The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
Now, it's one thing to be wrong, but being wrong
but getting that wrong that many times
at this big of a stage is just odd. Honestly, I'm not even mad about this. I'm actually borderline impressed at how Stephen A. managed to pull off this incredible feat of inaccuracy. Statistically speaking, you only have a 1.5% chance of getting a 50-50 guess wrong 6 times in a row. The man couldn't do this again even if he was trying. Think about it like this. Everyone watching this video, grab a coin, flip it, and try to get the outcome wrong 6 times in a row. Chances are someone watching this video will accomplish.
Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna try it once. First one. Alright, I've got it set. Okay, I have heads. It is tails. Okay, we got 1. Tails. It is heads. Okay, that's 2. Heads. It's heads. Okay, I got it wrong.
Accomplish this feat fairly quickly, but for the majority of us, you'll find that it is improbable that you'll guess the wrong side 6 consecutive times. What Stephen A. Smith did was so incredibly, so vastly flat out wrong that it's actually difficult to replicate. This man gets paid millions of dollars to sit and talk sports and yet isn't even obligated to be even remotely accurate in his assessment and predictions. I've been sitting here for the last 20 minutes and I can't incorrectly guess the outcome of this damn penny 6 times in a row if my life depended on it. Truly one of Stephen A. Smith's most disappointing, yet somehow impressive moments. But all of these moments were impressive in their own right. It isn't easy being this wrong. And yet all of these men somehow pulled it off. Some of the worst predictions in NBA history.
Hey, good video.
Hope you all enjoyed.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Until next time.
Okay, we finished the video. This was a banger, Jimmy. So yeah, remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment what you think was the worst prediction. Remember to like and subscribe because it helps the channel out so much. And every person that subscribes likes, you make a difference. So yeah, remember to do this, and I'll see you all next time.